Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with a relatively quick unboxing video. Now, I wasn't exactly sure how to categorize these figures, but I think I finally settled on celebrities, albeit either C or D-list celebrities. But either way, we're going to start off with a figure that I've actually already, quote, unboxed, which is my Johnny Knoxville figure. As I said back then, he's probably never coming back, so I've decided to keep him in the box. But he is a celebrity, and I took a look at him somewhat recently, so he counts. If I recall correctly, I gave this figure a 10 out of 10 cause, let's face it, it's awesome, but I'm just now noticing that one of the extra hands fell out of its place down here, so maybe I can shake it around later and get that back in there. Either way, speaking of keeping it in the box, next up is the legendary Captain Lou Albano. I was at a Target the other day when I noticed this Series 22 was all on clearance, so I decided to pick him up. I'll be honest, other than hearing that he's a legend in the pro wrestling world, I'm not too familiar with his work there. However, I'm much more familiar with his work in the greater media landscape, specifically his work with Cyndi Lauper during the rock and wrestling era, including his appearance in at least 2 music videos for her, one as the grumpy dad in Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and the other I believe as a grumpy land developer in The Goonies Are Good Enough. So given all that, he definitely fits the celebrity category for today. Like I said at the beginning though, I am going to be keeping him in the box, so we're just going to kind of be taking a look at that. And eventually he's going to be going up on my wrestling memorial shelf, for lack of a better term, which is getting pretty crowded these days, but don't worry, I'm going to be building new bigger shelves pretty soon, and I'll unveil what that looks like in a later video. Interesting thing about that memorial shelf is that every single one of those figures is a different series of figure. So for example, this is going to be the first one that's a WWE Legends figure, while other examples include an Elite Mae Young, an Ultimate Warrior, of course, a Retro Fest Macho Man Randy Savage in a box that looks like an old arcade game, a Great Entrance's Andre the Giant in his little ring from WrestleMania 3, and the special Brody Lee Memorial 2-pack along with -1. But back to Captain Lou here, if we bring him a little bit closer to the camera. There we go. Look at that face sculpt. That is awesome. You can see his weird cheek piercing, which I never really understood, but hey, it's got it in the face sculpt. He's got that little band around his goatee, and of course that awesome Captain Lou shirt he's wearing. That does appear to be cloth with a molded plastic vest over top of it, which says Captain Lou. If we look down here, there seems to be a gold record, and it does look like it breaks apart, so it probably smashes over somebody's head if you want to use it that way. Tucked into the corner there, we got a couple of extra hands, including a pointer finger hand, kind of like what we see here, and then one of these hands with all of his rings on it for that hand. Moving to the top quick, like I said, this is Series 22, and what's really awesome about these Legends figures is we got this cutout of a WWE logo on the top. Continuing to spin this around, we got this picture of Captain Lou. And continuing around, this is the collection that I said was on clearance. It includes 80s style Hulk Hogan with the big glasses, Muhammad Ali, the Sultan, which I believe is one of Rikishi's original gimmicks. That particular figure looked really good, but I don't know anything about him, so I wasn't going to buy him even on clearance. Anyway, our blurb here says he's Captain Lou and he's talking to you. With his gruff look and gruffer voice, the often imitated, never duplicated Captain Lou Albano delivered verbal jabs with rapid-fire ferocity that shook the rubber bands pinned to his face. His undeniable charisma not only won the hearts of the WWE Universe, but made him a legend in his own mind, and he's welcome to it. And of course, in the picture here, we see the vest on the figure itself, but sans that undershirt. Finally, let's spin him back around. We got the same picture on that side. And like I said, we're keeping him in the box, so that's going to do it for Captain Lou Albano. We're going to set him to the side. And our next figure, which we are going to actually unbox, is Pat McAfee. Now, the reason we're unboxing him, but we didn't unbox Johnny Knoxville, is because Johnny Knoxville's not coming back, while Pat McAfee is an active commentator and may even step back into the ring after a brief stint in NXT. Highly unlikely, but I'm just saying. I'm gonna want to get pictures with him on commentary in the future, so we're definitely taking him out of the box. What's even better is, despite the Build-A-Figure Nicholas from WrestleMania 2018 here, this Elite figure with lifelike FX details is actually from WrestleMania XL from right here in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We got the Liberty Bell there in the logo. We got the Eagles colors of green and white, which we also see throughout the box. And although I didn't go to WrestleMania itself, I did go to a whole bunch of independent shows around WrestleMania, and you can check out my complete vlog of all those shows right here on the channel. You can click the little box at the end of the video to see it. However, getting back to Pat McAfee here, he is of course a former punter for the Indianapolis Colts. I also think he did occasional place kicking. He is a Pro Bowler, potential Hall of Famer. I know he was just a punter, but go back and look at his highlights, man. He really was as good as everybody says he was. Then he turned media personality. He's on College Game Day with college football. He has his own incredibly successful podcast. He's an ESPN personality. Like I said, he did a little bit of in-ring work down in NXT while commentating, and now he is on the main roster with Michael Cole, was on SmackDown, now on Raw. And although I know he's very divisive, I actually think he's hysterical on commentary. So enough chatter, let's open this up. Although before we do that, we'll take a look at him in the box. Obviously, we'll be able to see it better once it's out of the packaging, but in fact, now I'm having a ton of issues getting the camera to focus, so we'll just worry about that when there's no glare. Also, if you're wondering, that green light is my camera. Anyway, Pat here is from Plum, PA, which might explain why he knows all those Philly and Pittsburgh references. And according to this, he lived out his lifelong dream at WrestleMania 38, even though this is a WrestleMania 40 box. First defeating Austin Theory, then going toe-to-toe against Mr. McMahon before sharing a beverage with the stunner-happy Stone Cold Steve Austin. Looking down here, there's no Stone Cold in the line, but we do get John Cena, The Rock, and Trish Stratus. And of course, in another unrelated WrestleMania moment, Braun Strowman handpicked Nicholas to be his tag team partner at WrestleMania 34. So I guess you can build that figure. Yes, Nicholas was one of the referee's kids. Anyway, it's time to actually do an unboxing in this unboxing video and let Pat McAfee breathe. And by the way, not only do we get this WrestleMania 38 shirt for Nicholas, but we also get his torso. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but whatever. And then here he is, Pat McAfee himself. He comes with closed fists there, but we also have an extra set of mic holding hands. And the first thing I'll say is he stands up great, which would be wonderful if I wasn't about to just sit him at a commentary booth. That also means I'm rarely gonna see these cool pants with the rips on the knee, unless of course he's standing up, celebrating, or standing on the commentary desk and yeeting with the crowd. We all know how Pat loves a good yeet. Anyway, inside the box I thought his face looked a little bit like Christian, but now that it's outside the box, I think it looks exactly like Pat McAfee. It's even got that almost crooked smile of his, great facial hair, and perfect eyes. The outfit is just a plain cloth black tank top, but you do get this really sick chain. We'll spin him around here. And nothing to really report on in the back, but I do really like the hair, and I think they got that haircut done really well with the buzz underneath and a little bit longer on the top. And yes, under the shirt he is an elite figure, so he has that torso bend. But yeah, nothing fancy, no real accessories other than the chain, but I guess the Build-A-Figure parts count as that. Either way, you don't really need much with Pat McAfee, and he's really gonna spruce up my commentary desk along with Corey Graves. Now all they need to do is come out with a Michael Cole. So with all that said, I think this is gonna get a 9 out of 10. Okay, we're gonna set him aside, and now as Mark Henry would say, it's time for the main event. I absolutely hate doing this because I absolutely hate this guy. However, every time I want to doubt him, he proves me wrong and blows my mind. So I am incredibly excited to open up the ultimate Logan Paul. Like I said, I know, he's a terrible person. But geez, is he an incredible professional wrestler. And personally, I think it would be very hard to argue that he had the greatest rookie year in all of pro wrestling history, maybe with the exception of Kurt Angle. He has picked up every facet of the game with little effort and in no time. So as the old hackneyed saying goes, you can hate the player, but you can't hate the game. Plus, if they're gonna go balls to the wall with an ultimate figure right out of the gate, why not? Let's get it. I do think there's a basic 2-pack with him and Roman Reigns, but no, we're getting the ultimate. No window on the front here, just a picture of him, another picture of him in action, and then an action shot of the figure itself. We'll spin it around, we get another picture of Logan. I believe that's with his Charizard Pokemon card that he wears around his neck. Nothing on the back here, and then just the giant word Logan on that side. It's cool looking, but there really isn't anything to this box. That's why we're gonna open it up. There might be more packaging inside. Yup, as I thought, there's another box inside, and my mind is just kind of blown at this point. It's got this awesome angular design. I've never seen that before. Big Logan Paul and what I'm guessing is his like personal font. Not sure if the camera's really picking it up too much, but we got these kind of wing details, and then we got Logan and Paul on the side there in that kind of black on black. Looking at the figure itself, we got this black and white gear. I think that's from his battle with Roman Reigns, although I could be wrong. We got 2 extra head sculpts. We got a yelling face, we got a tongue out face, and then we just got a kind of plain face right there. This isn't a window, by the way. That's the figure. I'm touching it. And yes, they even have the Pokemon card on a chain. As someone who was a middle school boy right when Pokemon came out, I was their target audience, and I loved everything from the video games to the anime to, of course, Pokemon cards. Whenever I had extra money, I went to my local card shop and bought a couple packs looking for those holograms, and as anyone of a certain age would know, the Generation 1 holographic Charizard is the holy grail. And somehow Logan Paul got his hands on one. I believe the rumor is he spent $1 million on it, which is crazy, but I also kind of believe it. Getting back to the figure though, it looks like that's gonna open up, and then we have some extra arms there because the outfit is painted onto his arms. And finally, if there weren't enough cool parts to this, he also has a pair of sunglasses. But we're gonna spin it around. Oh wait, before we do, just like to point out, I am the table! Which he said during a press conference where he was talking about how Roman Reigns is the head of the table, and he said, well, I am the table, and he had no clue that that was a Botchamania reference. Anyway, he's actually an inch taller than Pat McAfee, and if you haven't seen him in the ring, you have to. He is insanely athletic, and his finisher is one of the best frog splashes in the game. Yes, although he currently lives in Puerto Rico, he's originally from just outside Cleveland, which is why fellow Cleveland native The Miz is the one who introduced us to Logan Paul. That's what it says down here in the blurb. When The Miz chose Logan Paul to be his tag team partner for a match against the Mysterios at WrestleMania 38, nobody knew what to expect. Paul is a social media sensation, YouTube megastar, and host of the Impulsive podcast. Now you can add WWE Superstar to his list of accomplishments. After making his grand entrance wearing $5 million worth of gear, Logan Paul shocked the world, won the match, and cemented his place in WrestleMania history. Does everybody remember how he was trying to be a babyface back then? Like, he was insisting on it from what I remember. But thankfully, he realized he's a complete douchebag, and now he is genuinely one of the best heels in all of pro wrestling. But now just give me a second, I'm gonna pop everything out of the case here. Alright, everything is out of that really cool looking box, and now we have an awesome backdrop. Again, I'm just assuming here that he has some sort of bird gimmick as part of his overall personality, because we have this sick yellow bird right here, which of course matches his yellow gear. But before we take a look at that, here are the extra 2 heads. They look absolutely fantastic, incredibly lifelike, but I think I'm gonna keep the stern face on right now. Here are those 2 extra arms. Again, the outfit is painted on the other arm, so if you kind of want to go sleeveless, this is the way to go. But here it is, the Ultimate Edition Logan Paul, complete with Charizard card. We have this rubberized plastic outfit here. The vest does come off. Then you replace those arms and he's suddenly shirtless. We got these awesome sunglasses, but we'll take them off for now, so we can see those eyes that, once again, look exactly like him. This is one of the best face sculpts I have ever seen. There's incredible detailing along the arms here. Not a ton of detail on the pants, but at least they're not just plain black. We actually have all these great yellow highlights. He's got the kick pads, he's got the knee pads, and then if we look up here, under the hood, nope, the hood doesn't move, but it does say Paul there. And of course we have the back of the Paul headband. More great detailing around the side here. He's got these kind of fringe things hanging off his sleeves. Kind of gives me Demon Balor vibes there. And why not? Let's take off the vest and put on those other arms and see what he looks like that way. There we go. I also just noticed that one leg is black and one leg is yellow, so that's another really cool detail. Also, it might go without saying, but the vest becomes much easier to take off once you're able to take the arms off as well. And that kind of brings me to my next thing, which is all the articulations you get on these Ultimate figures. We get this extra kind of shoulder articulation on top of the normal articulation, which is right here. We also get this full range of motion torso section, so you can do a lot more with posing than you can with those normal just kind of up-down articulations on the Elite figures. Even coming down here to the feet, you get these cool toe articulations. I'd also like to point out with these arms, I added one each of the extra hands. We got the closed fist and we got this cool pointer finger. So by this point, you're probably done hearing me gush over this figure. Just like everything else about Logan Paul, I hate how incredible this figure is. I do. I wish it was a bad figure so I could just rag on Logan Paul for having a bad figure that like didn't look like him or didn't have accessories or had a terrible outfit that was really basic or whatever. Even if it had just a bad backdrop or a bad box, I don't have any criticisms. I hate him so much, and for that reason, I am going to act like Dave Meltzer and break my own scale. This figure gets an 11 out of 10.
These go to 11.
And that is gonna do it for today. Why don't you let me know what you think about these figures down there in the comments. We're gonna put them all up here. If you like this unboxing video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. You can also talk to me on Facebook now. If you haven't seen my complete WrestleMania 4D vlog, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.